YouTube Tuesday from Barnabas Junction, brought to you in association with the Model Railway YouTube Community Group, MRYCG, connecting the Model Railway community together. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. Just search for MRYCG. Good evening and welcome everybody to this week's YouTube Tuesday with me, Jason, at Barnabas Junction. Thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you have been well since last week. Great to see already so many of you in the chat. We'll come to you guys in a little moment. But I'm going to be telling you all, I'm a bit stuck between a rock and a hard place. What that might be, I'll mention a little later on. But right at the beginning of the show, we have to do the usual. And it's a thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much to all channel members for supporting the channel by becoming a channel member. Link, if you want to become a channel member, link is in the description of all videos and it can be found on the homepage. So a big thank you to the Train Freak, Owens Model Railways, Leicester Station and TMD, Building the ELR Step by Step, Flint Hills Model Railway, Valleybrook, Crosspoint Waypoint Junction, Eagle Creek, Darren Faulkner, Sparky, Donegal Dad, Digger Evans, Tim's Hobby Desk, Paul Scenic, Container Man 68, Hollybrook Junction, The Growler, Simon Strain's Model Rail Showcase, New Durham Junction, Stephen Lockhart, Moreland Model Railway Andy, Charlie McGowan, John Dawson, Effingham, Micro Scenics, Flyingwood Chairman 1, and the new member to join us, Melvin Fackler. Thank you to all of you for being channel members. Links to their channels can be found always, as always, in the channel description of these YouTube Tuesday shows. I say if you want to become a channel member, you can do so. Links in the description also, and also on the homepage of the channel. I appreciate it if you do, and thank you very much. It helps to support the channel every single week in bringing you these shows. So let's have a look at the new chat messages that are currently with everybody. It's in the chat. So let's take us back to the beginning. I know we had a channel saying hello well and truly super early in the chat. And I did say hi to them a couple of hours ago. So we got Melvin Junction saying, good evening, Jason. Just going to grab a drink. We'll be back. I've got mine ready for the refreshments tonight. Oswestry Road, TMD. Tico, good evening to you. Thanks for joining us. David Atkins, popping in for a minute, but can't stay. I'm sorry, Jason. No problem. Popping in is fine. Popping in and out as many times as you like. Digger Evans, good evening, Digger. One of my moderators for tonight, as always. Clybridge Station, good evening to you. Robert, Hemel Down Model Railway, evening to you. Smallwood Junction, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Also, who else have we got in? Clive Cabold, good evening, Clive. Timo, Blue Tree Models. Hello, Timo. Thanks for joining us. Who else we got in? Not mentioned. Yeah, CSX Wrensville is in. XMG12. Good evening, XM. Not seen you for a couple of weeks. I hope you are well. Who else have we got? Anyone else to say hello to yet? And Malvin has actually just put in there. Anyone watch Valleybrooks 2's live stream yesterday? Yes, we did see. He's taking a break from the hobby. Reason is he's got such a lot on at the moment as finances, but he's got a lot on in the background that needs him to focus his time more on that than the hobby. As it is a hobby, that's all it is. So stepping back from the scene a little bit, but good luck to him. We'll all stand by him and look forward to his return. Right, so I said we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yes, I certainly am, and it's in regards to the bridge, and it's in regards to these. These are the stone pillars which are underneath. Now, I am a bit puzzled what I'm going to do with these, whether I'm going to paint them, cover them, weather them as they are, but because I need abutments on this bridge to match these, and finding them is becoming a little bit difficult. What do I mean? Well, let's pop it onto the other camera and I'll explain in better detail. So let's switch you over to the other camera. Right, so as you can see the scatters there. Let me just move those out of the way. That was for the thumbnail. I'll just move those temporarily. We'll be coming to those very shortly. So you can see here, this is the bridge. It's all painted now. As you can see, it's all nicely brown. But these are to go in here. Get them to go in. Okay. So these go in here, yeah? But what is needed is an abutment at the end here, and I need it to match these really. I actually can't remember where I had these from, and so I don't know if I can find abutments that match these. Malvern Junction saying, leave the stone piers as they are, but put like green elk from the river as an effect. Yeah, good idea. Dave Swinton Junction, good evening. Thanks for joining us. Easy enough to make a mould and cast some, says Timo. Yeah, because what I need is they need to be here. So this is going to get scenic anyway, but because I can add the abutment in afterwards and then add further scenics because it'll help for the blend. So what I need to do, and I've got a few ideas, but they don't kind of match with this. But basically, it's to give me some idea of where to go. And I've got these. These are leftovers. I've got loads of these. These are leftovers from Metcalf kits. Say that when you've had a few. Metcalf kits. These are like a stone edging strip. They're not big enough. They're nowhere near big enough. I was just basically looking at these underneath here to see what effect they would give. Let me just bring the camera over. So let me just swing the camera over. So these are nowhere big enough. So an abutment like there, but it needs to be a bit further down, I think. So it needs to start about there. So obviously nowhere near big enough. And then obviously it needs then to wrap around and to come up. Oops, sorry. And then to come up here. So that just gives me a bit of an idea. Let's have a look what you guys are saying in the chat. Easy enough to make the mold, yeah. Dave's saying hi to Digger. Yeah, defo try a mold from them. Defo try a mold from. I don't know how I would actually make a mold from these. Actually, from these. Is it possible to create a mold from this that's already produced? That's an area of crafting, I suppose, I've never actually worked on. So it would be nice if I can get something similar. I think Will's do a stone sheet. If you send one down, I can do you a couple. Oh, Timo, that's good to hear. I'll do so. But all I have to do is obviously work out the measurements of where I want them there and actually how far back. That's probably be about, what's that? In fact, let me measure it. It's easier if I measure. Let's get a ruler. So underneath, across there, so is that 8.5? Yeah, 8.5 inches across. And then probably, if we look at about 2 inches back, so about there, maybe a bit further, about there, 2 inches back to there as an abutment. The Metcalfe walls look great as a match to the stone pier, says Melvin. So it's basically, it doesn't have to be a solid thing that goes in there. It's just something to slot in, craft it to, obviously, to the shape. I can chisel out a bit of this, craft it so it goes underneath, and then obviously before it goes in, it can be painted up and sprayed however it does, so I can match them to the pillars, if you understand my drift. So that is where I say I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. A bit of a jokey moment there. So let's have a look. All painted. Underneath is all painted. At the back is all painted. All brown painted. All underneath, all done as well. Best, there's a couple of spots that I've missed underneath, but that's not going to work because the abutment will hide those. Just could not quite get the brush underneath there. So following on from last week, that has actually come out better, much better than I actually thought it would do. Why not try plasticine to? Oh, that's the thing. What's that? Like plasticine stuff that you can get. I've thought of that. Why not try plasticine to draw out the contours, then cut that to the 4 sides and use a very wet, runny plaster of Paris. Yeah, that's an idea. That's an interesting idea. Something to look into. Yeah, it's like plasticine, but it's clay in it. It's it's the same stuff. It's sculptor clay, I think it's called. That's the product I'm thinking of. I know Ryan over at Brickerton Junction, Brickerton Model Railway, he's used that stuff quite a bit. Maybe that's a possibility to produce it, but it wouldn't necessarily be something smooth. So maybe not the direction to go to. Right, moving on. We're here for a particular thing, but before we do, we need to get on with the very first Now, my mega moderator is unfortunately not with us tonight, so I'm going to be trying my best to do things myself in one way or another. Okie dokie. So I'm going to try and type this out and place this in the chat myself, if I can get it to do. Right, so shout out number 1 tonight is a channel which has been recommended by someone in the chat tonight. A few weeks ago, I did suggest sending in your recommendations for shout-outs, and I got quite a few in. So we're going to go with the first ones that I received via email. If you've got any recommendations for shout-outs on this part of the show, then please do get in touch with me, BarnabasJunction@gmail.com, with your recommendations or your shouts, or maybe you would like a shout-out on the show in a future week, then also you can recommend yourself. So the channel, let's just get this name right. The channel, where has it gone now? There it is called, now as soon as I mention this, the person will know who it is. The channel is called Warpy 75. So I'm going to be posting the link. Please do check out this channel. Now, the reason why I mentioning this channel tonight is, as I said, it was a recommendation, and this is a layout actually called Warphampton. It is a lovely. There's not. They haven't got many videos. Well, they have got quite a few videos, but not many. It is an N-gauge layout, but it is absolutely got some incredible detail on it, and it's definitely definitely an excellent recommendation for a shout out on the show. All right. Yes, thank you very much, Digger. He's posted it as well, so I'll leave it up to you, Digger, if you can do it. If not, what I'll do is I'll tell you what I'll do, Digger. I've got a list. I'm going to send you directly the list tonight. Right. So if I share that and send that to Digger, then Digger knows what to post out shortly. So Digger, it's on its way. There's the list. And I'll also send, Digger, if you don't mind, I'll also send you this also, which will actually be Modeler's Moment tonight. Yes, we have got a Modeler's Moment. I was considering it being one of the shout outs, but it's actually going to be in Modeler's Moment tonight, so look out for that. So thank you very much, Digger. You've just received those links. Rightio. So I've got this, Jason, says Digger. Top man, well done. Stepping into the breach there for Flymo, who's our mega mod. So yeah, Warpy, great channel, worthy of the shout out tonight. 325 subscribers sitting on right now. I think that's already gone up a couple. And if you're into your Engage, if you're into your BR stock, BR Blue, then this is a channel to check out. Brilliantly scenic. I really don't know how people manage it in Engage. You have got some absolute fantastic patience, but I think it's superb. There's no information on the about section, so I can't tell you much more than that. But like I say, if you do like the channel, that does be recommended as a shout out, then please do check it out. If you do like it, subscribe, click the bell and select all for notifications so you don't miss out on them. Clybridge Station is that VHS cassette down below. You should take them to the Antiques Roadshow. Yeah, there's a lot of them down there. Quite a lot of them. Take them to the Antiques Roadshow. Right, let's get on with the show about why we're here tonight, and that is we're going to be looking at adding scatters, start adding scatters to these embankments. Now, I've only got currently got a limited selection of scatters, but I've got a lot of static grasses. So I'm only going to be doing a small section tonight with, where is it now? Which one is it? This one. Now, this one is number 31, reference JS31. It's dark earth. Obviously, that's going to work well with the ground colour as a base. And also, we have the next one up. Number 32, JS32 dark brown. I'm thinking this one might be a slightly better one than the darker. As I want to, although it's nice and dark, I don't want it to be too dark for when the static grasses go on this. So obviously I want to try and blend this in as best as possible from the previous static grass application that was done on there. I don't think we'll be, I don't think this week we'll be getting on with the static grasses, but we will look into about what we're going to be having on there. Scrapline Scenics, I'm here. Crikey, Tim of the Scrapline jumping in there. He does like his Scenics. Now, I have been watching a couple of your videos recently, especially the one on the river. I've been looking back at them. I've watched them 2 or 3 times now to get some ideas, and I tell you what, I still struggle to understand how fantastically you managed to do this. So I am trying with what I've got to try and replicate a little bit of how you've done some of your scenics. Clive Cabold says, Jason, I will be sending you photographs of the last trains on my loft layout. Stranraer Harbour soon, mate. Fantastic. Look forward to that. XMG says, oh, missed the big £1 bags of scatter in the 70s. Yeah, you only get, well, it does go a long way. But what gram are these ones again? These are, do they have a gram size on them? Bear with me while I have a look. These are from Javis, which are based in Stockport. Do you know what? I can't actually see where it says the size, the quantity of the bag, the size of the bag. But I may be wrong. Scatter. So it's just telling all about the different products that are available. It's not saying actually what size these bags are quantity-wise. But if you want to check it out, it's Javis Scatter 31 and 32. The ones we're hoping to be using tonight. I surprised myself, Jason. Laugh out loud. I just wing it. That's probably the best way, but you seem to wing it perfectly. That's the thing. There's a difference between winging it and making a mess and winging it and doing it scrapline style. Right. So, I've got a mixture of adhesives that we can be using for applying these scatters. Now, with it being a slope, I've got two thick adhesives and one runny adhesive. Now, if I use the runny adhesive, which is this one, because it's a spray on or brush on, it's literally going to run off. So I will actually have to, if I use that, I'll have to brush it on just like it says there. Spraying it on, it's going to go on. It's just going to run off because it's that thin. Or, which I haven't got much of, I've got actual scenic glue, which I think that may be a bit too thick to use on this. Tim, if you don't mind me asking, what scenic glue stuff did you actually use? Oswestry Road TMD. Jason, I will have to show you some pictures of the trees made with a WWS tree kit. Yes, I would love to see them, Oswestry Road, because I really would like, hopefully, to get some of those kits and get them actually used on this scene. Right, you use Mod Podge. I've looked at Mod Podge. It is available in the local stockists, but I have not got round to actually getting my hands on some. For the third glue, we've got WW Scenic's Fast Tack Glue. So I'm thinking probably, this is, again, it's quite runny, but it's not as runny as the Scenic Cement from from Woodland Scenics. So I'm thinking probably this is what I'll go with. So what I'm going to do, you're going to see me make a mess in a moment, live on the camera with this stuff. If not, then we'll have to go to something a bit thicker. Now, before we do that, I want to point out with a finger, excuse me, apologies, is this fence in the graveyard currently ends just behind this tree. I'm thinking that fence needs to continue a little bit further on. Now, I've got a couple of sections. I've got a full piece and I've got a short piece. This is the fencing I've used. The one behind here has obviously been sprayed green. And these are Tory laser fence kits, which I do need to get my hands on some more, if I possibly can. But I'm wondering if to extend these out just that little bit more, following on from the actual fencing that's in there. How far I go out, I'm still unsure. It helps if the camera's actually level, doesn't it? That's better. How far out, I am not sure. So you're going to get stuck in with glue, Jason. I'll get my coat. Oswestry, I'll PM you shortly. Let me know when you get them. Brilliant, Oswestry. Thank you very much. Or, I've got a full piece here. Or do we go much further, which would probably roughly be where the embutment would end? What do you think, guys? Should we go to so far, halfway, or should we look at it going all the way to the abutments, that's the word, I was about to say it right. That's something I'm unsure of. But in the meantime, we are going to get on and put some scatters, etc. on this area. Timo says, just checking no one in the house is watching. I know it's been popular lately. Plenty of class 37s, I hope. Right, so let's see what this stuff does on here. Let's see if it goes absolutely everywhere or does as it's told. Here we go. So what I can do is I can apply it. Oh no, it's running a little bit. I can apply it and then I can brush it. It's running a little bit. Let me get a brush or a sponge. That might be better. So yeah, it's running. It's going. It's hard. It's doing a runner. So I want to start with. We need. It's going down there and all. Give it a good coating, but not. And I think I'm right in saying this, Tim. Not really powerful coating, if you know what I mean. Now this stuff does dry quite quick, so we won't. I'll try not to go too far. Let's get a bit more on there. Don't worry about these. I can clear that up. So when spreading out, it stops it from running everywhere. Not too worried about the trackside edge because that's going to get ballasted in time. These are quite handy. These are. They just come in some kiddie kits that you get from like the likes of Home and Bargains, B&M's, that sort of thing. So we'll just go down to this edge here. Spot on, says Scrapline. Thanks, Tim. If you say it's spot on, then that'll do me. So that gives it a good coating. That'll do me. I think we'll just go a little bit more down to this edge here. I'm not too worried about under there. And then just because it's a sponge, I can dab it into everywhere, which is obviously handy. And I do need to ensure it blends into this area here between the churchyard and along this edge here. Right, I think, like I said, this does dry quite quick. I think we're quite happy. I'm quite happy with that. It's gone better than I anticipated. It looks like it will work, says Digger. Kybridge says Blue Treat now. Club Rugby Union on BBC Two Wales and S4C right now. Right, so what do you think, guys? Should we go for the dark earth or the dark brown? I think I think we'll go with this dark earth to start with, and literally, and I'm tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just literally going to scatter it on, hoping that I can get a good covering over this. Now this is being done ever so slightly different than I did the churchyard. Trying not to waste too much down onto the floor. Slightly different than I did the churchyard. Which was pretty much just static grass straight away. But literally, it's surprising how far these scatters actually go. You don't really need much. Now, I know Tim over at Scrapline, he's got like a pepper pot scatterer, which I do need. I did ask him when I last saw him where he got it from, and I still need to get my hands on that. But for the time being, you're going to use using the good old fingers will hopefully do the job today. Effingham's in, bit of both, he says. Trying not to waste too much. It'll be hoovered up afterwards. Bit of both then. Right, regular pepper pot will work. Let's have a look. Applying a little bit, and that one's not actually open. I've not opened that one. Let's open it. Okay, it's open now. So, adding further on, let's add a little bit of the lighter. And see, you can see the difference. It's making a much lighter difference. But I don't want it too much because I don't want it too light. Obviously, when it dries, it will dry slightly different. And you can add, using a pipette, we can add some more adhesive over the top. Get a little bit along the edge. Try not to create lines. I think that is pretty much about the size of it. So, looks a bit lighter than actually. That's actually a lot more darker. In fact, if I do, oh, it makes it too bright. That is actually a lot darker than it looks. But as that dries and soaks in, that will be much better. So what I've got here is I just soak that. So the glue can blend. You can see it's suddenly gone a lot darker. That'll force the glue to spread. Just grab a cloth. Let's just see if we can clean that up. Nope, that glue's already set on there. Right, where's my pipette? I have a pipette somewhere. That somewhere is always somewhere, you never find it. Bear with me. No, can't find that. No worries. Never mind. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to, in fact, what I'll use here, I'm just going to use the even runnier one now, just to drip it on. And I'll act like a pipette. You can see it spreading out. Oh, that'll come out a bit too much then. Now this stuff is really good stuff. Recommend this if you want stuff to set solid on your layout. This scenic cement does exactly like it says on the tin pretty much. Sets like cement. That should be enough just to spread that out. No dripping. Excellent stuff. So that's that side. Looking good. Quite pleased with how that's actually come. And that'll give a good base coat for static grassing afterwards. Let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat. Growler, Jason, just uploaded some pics to Facebook page, show before and after entrance and exit to the Helix. Not too shabby, even if I say so myself. Yes, Ewan, your Helix, your retaining walls on those Helix are incredible.
have made a new video, Ewan. Yes, Digger's got quite a few. Effingham's just subbed to Melvin's just subbed to Effingham's channel. He's in Effingham saying thank you very much. Melvin, Barnabas, can I see a double VHS set of Thomas the Tank Engine in Friends? Yes, you can. It's there. The classic collection. Digitally remastered. Can't beat a good bit of Thomas. Look at that. Who remembers those? VHS. Out with the arc these days, aren't they? Let's have a look now. Look forward to it, Ewan. Hiya, James Gibson. Hello, James Gibson. Thank you for joining us. Scrapline, you got any green scatters? Yes, we've got a number of green. We've got summer mixture number 73, which is like a greeny yellow purpley colour. We have small amounts of pasture green number 21. I have a light green number 10, light meadow green. Are there any of those you recommend to give a sprinkle onto there? I think that light green might be okay. Did you see my trees? I did send them on Messenger. I too have the classic collection. Everyone's talking about those. Binned dozens of VHSs last year. Most of them had degraded over the last 30 years. Double VHS of Thomas, my son, had as a child. Big chap now. No interest in the hobby though anymore. We do have a good community here, guys. Very supportive of one another's channels. Indeed, we do. Digger, spot on. It is on VHS. I have a mate who still uses Betamax to record Corrie. Wow. Goose Lord, they bring back memories, says Tico. Jason, I should have qualified my comment. The catenary is in and there are loads of bushes and flowers. Wow, I'm definitely going to have to look at that. Leslie Gilpin, hi Jason, and hi guys. Hi Leslie. Summer colour, a few random spots here and there. Dimore Junction, right, scrapline. Summer mixture. Summer colour, a few random spots here and there. Okay, well, let's see how it goes. Totally unrandom. Oh, I see what you mean, actually. Yes. A little bit there. Bit at the end there. I think that's what you mean. You can actually see it on the camera, amazingly. A large amount just there. A little bit there at the end. A little bit more up there, I think. How about that? So let's take it in for a closer look. Can you see the colour of the summer mixture against there? Try and keep the shadow of the camera off. Let me tilt the camera back. Dimore saying evening. Bots Car Jerry, thank you for joining us. You can just make out, I'm trying to get it so it focuses, you can just make out the colours. The lighting is not brilliant, but it does give an effect. It says, look at me, to you, it still looks dark and you can't see. I'm looking on the screen and I can't see that much in colour. But believe you me, there is more colour in there than it actually looks. Matt Slade, evening all. Evening, Matt. Thanks for joining us. Let's tilt the camera back down. In fact, you can see a bit more colour there. Growler says, hi, Leslie. To Clive is saying, hi, Leslie. Watching while I download
what I recorded in North Wales last week. Fantastic. Yeah, can just see it. Did you have a good time, Les? Growler, Leslie, is this your preparing my Sunday morning breakfast viewing? Malvin Junction saying evening to Leslie. Scrapmate, yeah. It'll add variation and breaks up the uniform brown. Also, it'll add some undertone to the grass once in place. Ah, good. Thank you very much for the advice, Tim. Always a pleasure. Amazing stuff. Model Rail Noobs in. Good evening. So, do you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of this lighter as well. Just not much. I mean, just a sprinkle. As you said, to break up colour. I see exactly what you mean. St. Mary's Church, good evening. I don't want to put too much on, as it's going to be kind of slightly overgrown. I'm going to put a bit, do you know what? I'm actually going to put a bit more of that summer mix on, because now it's starting to set with this bit of green. I don't want to overdo it before I put the grasses on, you see, the statics. Right, that'll do. Let's put a little tiny bit more colour. As you said, adds a variation. I'm doing it from very high up. Let me show you how. Adding it from high up, so it gives a good scatter. And if I want to do a particular patch quite a lot, go right down. Adds variation, so we don't get all the brown, as Tim has stated. Quite a bit of colour under there, I think. Yeah, that's good, like that. I think that's enough. So again, that is developing well, says Leslie. Thank you very much. With the help and advice of Tim. It does look, actually, looking on the camera, from, if we have a look at before, that was before, that's after. I'm quite, yes, Tim, you're very much quite right. That is looking good. And once it does dry out, once the glue is, the scatter glue is set, that is going to look just even more. So I'm going to put another dribble of this, and I mean dribble, so it spreads out over what we've just applied. This stuff does actually surprisingly dry relatively quick, because what doesn't stick will just get hoovered off afterwards. Oops, that might be a bit too much there. No, that's all right. Put a bit round here, and the top, it will run down. That'll do. Literally, just a few splashes like that. Wherever it doesn't, you can actually see the splash areas. Wherever it's not stuck down, when I come to hoover it, it will lift, as Tim says. Incredible the difference made by half an hour with just some scatter applied. Indeed, this is what I like, is making something just completely look different. This, although it's coming from the churchyard, it will start off quite greeny still, but as it starts to develop over the edge, this is going to become rather overgrown. Lots of shrubbery on here, and following on with the odd few trees as well. So I do think that with that commentary advice from Tim, thank you very much for that advice. It's worth its weight in gold. So before we move on, I think it's time for shout out number 2 for tonight's show. Are you ready, Digger? And shout out number 2 tonight goes to a channel called, now you might laugh at this, but I think it's a great name. It's not necessarily directly aimed at the name of a channel as a model railway, but it's called, let's see if Digger's on the ball. Go for it, Digger. The channel is called Going to the Dogs, without the spaces. Going to the Dogs. let's have a look at his channel. Currently on only 49 subscribers. This needs plenty more, because this guy, this channel's, I don't think the channel's been going that long, and I'd already liking much of the scenics on this layout from what I've seen. There are not many videos as of yet. Let's have a look at the channel information. The channel's been alive since 2017, but he's not had much content on it until recently. I am a rail enthusiast with an interest in 00 gauge models, typically from 1986 to 96. So covers the earlier period of what I like to do as well on this channel. So take a look. He's actually got. Is that the original APT? Yes, I think it is. I think that's the original APT. Lots of great traction on there. 08s, tractors. Looks like 24s, tankers, freight, including passenger trains. Definitely worthy of a subscription, in my opinion. So as always, if it's something you do like, then please go check this channel out. Let's keep an eye on this. 49 already jumping up beyond the 50 mark. And as always, if you interact with the channel, and what a better way to interact with the channel is pop onto his latest video and say you're subscribing to this great channel after hearing about it here on the YouTube Tuesday show at Barnabas Junction. So please do so. Remember, when you do subscribe, click the bell for all notifications and select, and say all, so you don't miss any future videos. His latest video was published only 2 days ago. So a great channel, worthy to take a look at. So let's have a look what's going on chat. Malvern Junction says, my mum told me her granddad was a driver of the Lickey Incline Banker back in the steam days. Oh, I bet that was a tough job. Robert's train set. Hello, Robert. Thanks for dropping in. Hi, Jason. Hi, and Stuart, and everyone who knows me. Hope you are all well. Hope you are well too, Robert. Great to see you here today. Melvin, I have 10 so far, but I'm happy with the amount. Everyone's saying hello to Robert. Yes, give Robert a big cheery hello. Welcome to the show. Scrapline says he's a regular commenter on my vids. Never looked at his channel until now. Looks good. There we go. Great bit of feedback from Tim at the Scrapline. Malvin, you should find out which locos he drove. Digger says, now you have 11, Malvin. Great stuff, Digger, on the ball there. Craig, Hobbies and Trains, join us. Hi, all. I'm sorry I'm late to the party. Yes, you've been missing this being done using these Javis scatters. Looking quite good indeed. We've gone from, I'll turn the camera, we've gone from what you see on that side, just here, the bare brown, to that in a matter of just a few minutes. Looking good, all looking good. So what I'm contemplating to do right now is, do I crack on with the rear over the back, that far side, and then work my way around, or would you like us to go over to the opposite side and get that done there? I'm wondering, where should we go, guys? I'm going to let you decide. Do we go to the rear and carry on completing this side, or should we come over to the opposite side and do the front just as good as we've done on this side? It's up to you guys. It's a show for you. You can let me know, where should we go. Craig's Hobbies and Trains looks awesome so far. Thank you very much, Craig. Malvin saying to Leslie, I know my uncle said there is a picture in the Weatherspoons in Bromsgrove of him driving the Banker, so I will find out. I know where there were Ginty 56 locos involved. Clybridge says, we're going to have a vote on here. So we've got Clybridge says go to the rear. CSX says go to the other side. Chazko, hey up, Chazko, how are you? He's saying do the other side. Let's have a vote. Just arrived, sorry I'm late. Howard, thank you for joining us, Howard. Great to see you. So let me move these out of the way so we've got a good idea. Now, just briefly, before we go any further, I do have, now Tim will probably know these as well. I do have some other scatters from Green Scene. It doesn't say what exactly they are on them, except it does have a number. Green Scene 110 and Green Scene 123. Now these were picked up because these are quite colourful. As you see, that's quite yellowy, and that one is quite like red speckly one. So these are a possible other two scatters that can feature in areas on these, especially around trees, sort of that stuff, or where it could be overgrown, to add that even more extra colour. So what do you think, Scrapline? What do you think of these? I do know, I think you use quite a lot of green scene scatters. I do believe. I think you've seen them. Yeah, in fact, there he goes. I've got a few of them scatters, but never used them. Rightio. Well, I picked these up purely because of the colours. They were, how much were they? They were quite expensive for what they are for this bag, £3.50. And the company that now owns Green Scene, if I remember, I'm trying to remember now, is actually a company that used to just deal in tools and hardware products and stuff like that, electronics equipment. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is now, but it was when I was at the Macclesfield Model Railway exhibition. I picked these up to try out, and we're going to be looking at using these somewhere on here. Maybe we might get to use these around the river edging with a bit of a nice colour. Let's have a look. Finnerton, bit late, I'm sorry, no problem. Noah and Gabriel's models just looking in. Great for you to join us. Thank you very much. As you're happy with that side, continue doing the other side, says Robert. So we've got 3 for the other side, only 1 for the rear so far. There is a great book on my family friend who was on the bank from the early 50s. It's called On Life on the Licky. I would recommend that, says Timo. Scrapline says he's got a few of them scatters. Timo, his name was Pat, used to take us up and down. Malvern says blue tree, nice, thank you. Oh, well, look at that. Squires, exactly, you're bang on there, CSX Renfield. Squires, you're quite right. Squires now own Green Scene. People saying hi to Brian. I use their grasses. I wouldn't add any more scatter to that area. Less is more. Indeed, for now, that I'm quite happy to leave that as it is. I think that's quite effective. And what I'll do, especially for you channel members, after the show tonight, we'll get some close-up photographs of how this, because this is actually, which Adam and Eve, this is actually drying out in front of me. You can probably see the patchiness. It's already drying, which is great. Quite pleased with that. So for channel members, you'll get some early preview pictures of this after the show. I'll take for you, and I'll post them in the channel members private group. If you want to become a channel member and see those pictures, then join up today. Right, so let's carry on looking at what people are saying in the chat. It looks like Squires Tools stock them. Yes, that's right. Looking at what I believe Java are an awesome product for their money. Yeah, Javis, not Java. Javis. I used to call it Jarvis. It's not, it's Javis, isn't it? So let's move on then. I think the votes are for doing the other side. So I'm going to move the camera over. So bear with me while I try my best without stretching cables, and we'll get cracking on the opposite side. Just move all the junk out of the way. Right, so it's going to waddle a bit while I move the camera table over. And what I'll do is we'll set that so it's. Is that okay for everyone? At least you know what I was on about. Right, so the votes were to now do this side, and then obviously what I can do is by next week I can get the remainder underneath there, and also we'll get some. I'll get some underneath here scattered up. Don't fall down the hole. No, it's all right. I've got a cover over it. Look. So let's crack on then with this side and see if we can replicate in some way what we've done over on that side. So as always, we started with the WWS Fast Tack glue. This is a 500ml bottle. Okay, so for this we used a Kiddie's sponge on a stick, we can call that, to smooth out this adhesive. So Tim did say spot on. So I'm going to follow up with the same setup. Don't want to be going too far up the wooded area here, but I will go slightly on it because I want to get rid of this wooden edge. And it's already starting to run, so we'll start smoothing this out now already. A nice coat. That's going good. And I say we can, it's a sponge, so we can dab as well. Just over the edge of that wood, that's perfect. And let's do up against that edge as well, make sure that's soaked. And we'll go down under there. Again, we don't need to worry too much about underneath there because we will be adding the abutments at some point. But we'll go just under. So I know a lot of people, they get scared of doing this sort of thing, doing this sort of scenic stuff. But trust me, it's not as difficult as you might see. It is relatively, actually, it's easy. It's entertaining, really, and it's very therapeutic. And really, there's so many great channels out there that do this sort of thing in exceptional detail. Me, I will not state that I'm any expert, but I just like to show you how these sort of things are done by myself, and just to show you how relatively easy doing something like this is for the novice modeler. Just pretty much what I class myself as. A bit more on there, as it's already starting to set. It's quite warm up here today, which is good. So we started with the dark earth, and then we moved to the light earth. So again, we've got them here, and as you can see, we've used literally nothing out of this. This is how good these scatters can last. So let's go sprinkling. A nice pinch. Like I say, the shaker does give a more even coat that I know Tim uses. He's shown it on his scrapline. He has shown it on his channel quite frequently and recently. And I do really need to invest in one. Or like Digger said, just get an old pepper shaker. Probably do the same job, really. It's a bit slow. I'm trying my best not to lose it down onto the floor below. And the thing about this stuff is once it starts hitting the glue, it does change colour quite rapid. It does become a bit darker as it soaks it up. Trying to get some in there. Not too worried too much about getting it under there because of the abutment that will be going in. Last little bit now, just at the top. It just shows how quickly and easy something can change. I think I did say earlier, it's amazing how fast things can change. Craig dampened the area with a damp cloth for a few minutes, then wipe it off. Who else we got? Craig says, I think most people see this as an irreversible step. If they get it wrong, I know I do. Yeah, I can understand that if it does go wrong. But I say, if it does go wrong, you can wet it with some water and it will soften it up and you can wipe it off afterwards. Brickerton, we were talking about you earlier. Thanks for dropping in. Growler, very true, Jason. Had to work up the scenic part of my walls. Currently demanded scratch building platforms and bays, cursing the PVA. It can be remedied in most cases, Craig says. Digger, I use a big strainer for scatter application and tap the side. Yep, simply you can do that. True, but many vids online about rectifying scenery until I get to that stage. Leslie, as someone already said, little is more. Scatter a little over a wide area, then go with the next. Actually, you're happy. Hope it was nothing bad. No, it was talking about your that plasticine stuff. I forgot what it is already. That you use. Saying, I know I've seen it, you use it on your layout. And I say less is more. Yes, indeed it is. So not too much of this. This is just the light brown, just to give it a bit of a contrasting colour. That's all I'm going to put on there. And we're going to go now with a bit of adhesive. We're going to use again Woodland Scenics and drip it on. In fact, no, because as you can see, I dripped that on, but it's not spreading. We've got a bit of IPA in here. So spread a bit of IPA, which makes then, just like as if you're ballasting, it breaks the surface tension. And drip it. Oh, that's too much. See what I mean? That's too much. It's starting to run a bit too much now. Just trying to squeeze it out a little bit at a time. It can go wrong. Want it to dribble out a small amount where I want it. I'm going to add some more, obviously, to this. That'll do, I think. Don't want to put too much on. Don't want to swamp it. So that's where things will go wrong. Now, I'm going to carry on with the recommendations from Tim. Now, Tim did say, now try the summer mix. So a sprinkle of summer mix on top. Again, not too much, less is more, but just enough to give a varied colour. And that's straight away. I bet you can't properly see it on the camera, but for me personally, that is already, that looks to me like that's more than enough already. And a fraction of the green, what did we use? We used the light green, didn't we? A fraction of light green on there as well, just to give it contrast in certain areas. Literally throw it on. I think that is it. Don't want to put too much on. That's it. Stop. Don't want to put any more on. Let's get me cloth and just wipe that board. These will be. I'm not too fussed about these. Just I've coated them in a bit of brown for now, but they are going to get painted back to black eventually. So let's have a look at chat. Oh no, that's called the plasticine material you use, Brickton Rhine. Let's have a look what people are saying. Jeff, evening all. Sorry I'm late to the party. What's people? No more people saying anything. Growler, Jason, does your Woodland Scenic cement have all the thick stuff at the bottom of the bottle? I usually unscrew it and put a stick in. I did think that, but no, it doesn't. Let me put the finger on the end. If you look, there's a little bit. You can't really see on the camera. There's a little bit at the bottom, but what I've been doing is giving it a good shake to mix it up, and that bottom's now clear. You can actually see the liquid. So it's been getting it off. That's done the job, just to remix it back up and then give it time to settle with the bubbles, so there's no bubbles when you come to how are you going to finish the space between these two areas, says Robert. Right, so Robert's asking what's going in between here. It's going to be a river in between here. These embankments, this is not the final place. These are not staying exactly where they are. So a little bit wider than that. So these embankments will continue down. There will be a footpath on either side, and then these will be in just on the water's edge, and then we're going to have some realistic water going in here, so we can create a bit of a river scene just at the front going through. I'll just show you Robert looking through to the back. So we've got a nice area to play with. So there's going to be a river in there. Yes, is it a river? He says. Indeed, it will be. I would have come a bit further out with it here, but unfortunately, due to height restrictions coming out of the loft, this is already at its maximum area that you can come this way, purely because when you come up, your head's underneath here. So that is the maximum that can come out from the back wall, but it's wide enough for 4 tracks. So let me take it in for a closer look this side. So you can see the contrasts in colour there. I think that's come out rather well. So that will be continued, obviously, further down, round the back, underneath, and round the back area as well on both sides. Looking at this side, you can see how this is developing, drying nicely, and you can see the pockets of colour poking through the brown, creating a good effect. As I say there, if it'll focus, don't think it will. You've got a nice little patch of excessive colour beyond the brown. So that's what it looked like before, and that's what it's looking like now. And this is Javis scatters, just creating this simply before any static grasses are applied on top of this, so we get a good idea of colours. So this is slightly different from the scenic styling I did over on the far corner, over in that corner down there, as you were seeing in the previous series. It's a little bit of a scenic difference, and that's what it's all about. It's about trying different things and seeing what works best for your scenic area. What sort of bridge are you doing? It's going to be, just find them. Let me find the full piece. It's going to be an iron girder bridge going across, Robert. So there'll be several iron bridges going on. I'm just looking at that actually. Where that one finishes, that's just where the embankment is set to go. So 3 of these across either side. And again, the embankment will fit perfectly there. And those will also be on the other side. I'm contemplating putting a strip in the middle, cutting down halfway down one and putting them in the middle, just like them Pico ones you can get. But these will be on the opposite side as well. And if I gingerly try, I can actually get that to balance. So they'll be on the far side as well, 4-track iron girder bridge. Are you adding static grasses, says Howard? Yes, that will be coming in the future. We may, if I can get the rest of this scatters done, which pretty easily I probably will do, get the embankments sorted. I think we'll be seeing some static grasses going on here very, very soon, maybe in next week's episode. We'll have to wait and see. Chesco says, looking good, Jason. Thank you. Will you be building up the footpath with a wall down to the river? Possibly. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all. Maybe, quite possibly, there will be one on this side. I'm not sure. There's this back area here. It's getting boxed off, so you won't even see that there. There will be a scene going in there. Maybe we could get some like steps going down to the river's edge. Definitely can probably get one from here without a doubt, and get some railings alongside the fence, that sort of thing, to bring access to this top area. Could quite possibly do that. So that was a good suggestion, Brian. Good thought. Maybe we can include one coming from the churchyard, maybe through the fencing that's to be planned to go on here, and have it come also down, maybe an old track coming down. So thank you very much, Brian, for that suggestion. To advance on my train set, but very nice. To advance for my train set, but very nice. Thank you very much, Robert. Oswald, are you going to add a hedge at the church boundary? The church boundary, I will show you what I initially have thought. And this is the same that's on the church at the front and round the pub. And I did initially think about doing the stone walling. Let me just... So the stone walling is what's at the front of the church, as many of you have seen. I'm thinking about adding the stone walling on this side as well. Or I could have it in such a way, if I can get it to, is have it Hopefully we're back now. Just lost the camera for a split second. Sorry about that. So yes, maybe put the rough walling along the embankment. I'm not 100% certain on that. I did initially think about putting the fencing, continuing that fencing down here. Wherever I've put it now. There it is. I did think about carrying that down from there, but I thought that might be a bit too much. What do you think? Timber's new Iron Bridge sets look good when they go on sale. What type of water will you use? I'm possibly going to use WW Scenic's new wet water, but I don't know. I'm going to be asking for opinions and thoughts on what the bets for future episodes. Freeze frame DRS 68. Shalom, peoples. Shalom 68. Hope to see you July the 16th. Meter out. Yeah, I've put 50p in the meter now, so don't worry. It doesn't last long these days, does it? You're back. Yes, I think it would look nice with the wall used dog walkers dirt path. Yeah, so I think that's a bit overkill for this. Definitely, I think I will continue that in some way if I get it up the right way. Up, that's the right way. Along that up to the girder and the abutments, but I do think that the stone wall replicating the other side is probably the more beneficial view for that, and will give good contrast between the two colours. Jason, invest in some Martin Weberg flowers and tufts. Model tree stock. Stop them. Oh, Growler. Send me a link, Growler. I'd love to have a look at those. CSX Rensville. The wall looks better in keeping with the church. Yeah, agreed. Agreed too. I will just turn the camera so you can see the wall at the front of the church over there. So it's kind of like I say, it's in keeping, following it on. Whereabouts I'm going to put it, I'm not sure yet. So it's a possibility of extending the church out a little bit. The stone wall is definitely ideal, says Digger. Use PVA and tissue paper instead. It's going back further back, see if I've missed anybody's comments. Are you going to add a hedge? Yep, just talked about that. Flint, Jeff saying hi to Ewan. Apologies if I have missed any comments. That's purely because they're going through that fast. I'm struggling to keep up with them. So if you have said something and I've not replied to it, then feel free just to shout it out again. So we've got both sides over here done. I'm just going to add a little bit more. You can't see it's off camera. I'm just adding a little bit more. In fact, I'll turn the camera. You're supposed to see what I'm doing, aren't you? I'm just adding a little bit more of the scenic cement. Not too much. Just where I can see it's not spread out. That's it. Just literally. Oops. A bit too much there.
But, I think there's a little bit there. I've just seen a spider. No, it wasn't. It was a reflection. There we go. That'll do. Don't want to overdo it. I'll just wipe off those drips. Oh no, I have seen something, and it's not a spider. It's a fly. There's a fly crawling underneath there. Where's it gone? Oh, don't know where it's gone. It's under there somewhere. I saw its wings. Right, so that is that side. Looking good, both sides. And I say that they're not what you call replicating each side exactly the same, because nothing in the real world is identical. Obviously, that looks a little bit lighter because the glue's wetter. Bad news, Barnabas. I won't be attending the open day. I've penciled in on the Tesco train from. Oh, is that good? It just made me jump. Just fell off. Penciled in to do the Tesco train from Inverness that day and most of that week. Oh, gutted. With the churches needing to make money, put the wall at the water's edge and then tables so the church can serve tea. Thank God, right enough. I hate Crew DRS Depot and I hate crowds. Oh, gutted. Boris the Spider's come to help. No, it was actually, I don't know where it's gone. I saw it. It's got wings. It's a fly for definite. Not a spider. But why it was doing underneath there, I don't know. But it's vanished now. It's flown off. Oh well. Before it got stuck down. My anniversary weekend on DRS Day, so Finneton's unable to attend. DRS 68, did you do any of the Motherwell Carlisle GSW route learning runs? Melvin, I'm going to Siston Model Railway Society, Leicester Model Railway show. Is anyone else going that's here tonight? Right. Well, I'm going to be at, I can't remember the date now, but there is a small open day for the Wrenbury Model Railway Club at the community rooms at Sainsbury's in Whitchurch in the coming couple of weeks, actually. If anyone is attending there, I'll be there for an hour or so to have a nosy round. I've been to the Wrenbury Club, actually in Wrenbury, a few times before, and they're a great little club. So if anyone is in the Whitchurch area in a couple of weeks, I have posted, I'll get the picture, the poster. I'm sure I actually have posted the picture in the community tab in the last few weeks. So if not, I'll get it posted out again. But it's the Wrenbury, W-R-E-N, Bury Model Railway Club. They're holding an open day event at the community rooms at Sainsbury's in Whitchurch in a couple of weeks. I think it's on a Saturday. Can't remember. And it's going to be a great little event. And then also they've got the Ellesmere Model Railway exhibition at the community centre in Ellesmere. That's not far from the Welsh borders, actually. I'll be at the Glenrothes show, Clybridge, says Growler. Model Rail Noob, I am only in Derby, only up the line then, not too far away. Flies around the dead in the graveyard, yeah. Model Rail Noob says might go to the Leicester show because he's only in Derby. I'll be at the Glenrothes show, says Growler. Lucky then, DRS68 seems to be going on for a long time. I think that's Brian's patch. Brian's patch. No, it's the well, Brian is nearly in that area. If you've got spiders, try putting cookers around. DRS68 Leslie Gilpin unsure why it's going on at this amount of time, but why they're even giving it's pointless in my eyes. I'll be helping out my model shop, says Melvin, to do a store at the Siston Model Railway Society, Leicester. Fantastic. And that's this Saturday, says Melvin. Fantastic.
Right, it's time for our third shout out of the show. Rightio, so tonight's third shout out of the show is going to another recommendation from another member here that tunes in regularly each week. And this is quite a layout that's it's a layout that features, or based on, should I say, a place not too far from myself called Shrewsbury, but the layout is called Shrewford, but the channel is called the 1977 Joey, but the layout's called Shrewford. It's a great layout. Let's have a look. Only 47 subscribers. So it's definitely worthy of a nosy. 47 subscribers, only 8 videos on the channel at the moment, but I'm sure more will appear very soon. Great again, this is a superb channel of 80s to 90s rolling stock, and I think it's double O gauge, just double checking. Yes, it is. It's a double O gauge. Oh no, it's an N gauge layout, again for you N gauge modelers. Some great traction, some great viewing angles, some great cantini and station views on this. Again, 37s, DMUs, intercities, all the usual stuff that you would see around the late 80s, 90s time. Worthy of a checkout by yourself. Again, if you like this channel, please do subscribe to it. Click the bell for all notifications and select all, as I said. Also, interact with all channels that you're subscribed to maintain your subscription. Best way, as always, is go on the latest video, which I think they've not put any out recently, but there will be more in coming days, I believe, coming weeks, I say. So go on the latest video and drop them a comment to say hi. Sorry, not cookers, conkers. Blasted. I thought cookers. Yes, conkers. Not the right time of the year for conkers just yet, but yes, I do know spiders don't like conkers, do they? I will be at the diesel car at the Severn Valley Railway on the 21st of May. Didn't realise there was one. Oh, let's what that's in 3 weeks' time then. Just Sub says Finnerton might go to Kidderminster Model Weekend on Sunday. This Sunday, who knows? DRS68, are you doing a bit of pointless things right now? Robert, I have to go now, so goodbye to you all. Nice, interesting stream. Jason, thanks for the info on what you were doing to all. We'll look forward to seeing its progress. Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you for just dropping by. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. So yes, that is third shout out for today. It is indeed the Joey 1977 is the channel name, and the layout is Shrewford, based on Shrewsbury. We enjoy that. Still to come is Modeller's Moment, so don't go anywhere as of yet. We've still got much to talk about. And talking of DRS68, and we have been talking about exhibitions and events, who is going to the DRS Open Day, July the 16th? Been so looking forward to this event taking place. Obviously, we've missed it for a couple of years. I am already looking forward to it myself. I'm looking forward to meeting many of you that are going, that maybe I've met up with ever before. So please, if you are going, then make sure you come and find me and come and say hello. I will have some of my hobby cards with me. So if you do come and say hello, please ask for one. You're quite welcome to have one. And if you've got any yourselves, then quite happily we'll take one from you and add it to the wall of hobby cards. Model Rail Noobs, which show says Malvern. Yes, July the 16th, I will try to attend. If you are, it's only £5 to attend that event, and all monies goes to their charities, charity funding. So it's absolutely so cheap of an event to attend to. £5, and under 16s are free when attending with a paying adult. So definitely one for the family, and it's a great one with it being obviously DRS, my favourite loco company. Unfortunately, they are selling off some of their stock again. But I do believe there are going to be some special visiting locos at the event. So look out for more on that on the DRS social media. If you want to book tickets for that, you can do it already via the DRS shop. Check out the DRS website, click on shop. The details are there to get your tickets. And a little bit more information on the event is on there. So if you are going, it's going to be great to catch up with you all. I do look forward to see you. But stay posted with this channel, because there may be a chance to grab yourself a ticket to go for free. More on that in coming weeks. So there will be a chance to grab a ticket or two to attend that event coming up in a few weeks' time on this channel. Right. Let's move the camera back. So just bear with me while it wobbles a bit. There we go. So there we have 2 embankments done this week using the Javis scatters. Again, I'll tell you what scatters I have used for this. We'll run through in order of application. So we started off applying on the base. The glue we used was the Scenic's Fast Attack glue. We then spread that out with a good coating with just a simple sponge. So we got a good coating instead of it all being dribbly. After that, we applied then an initial coating of Javis number 31 Dark Earth. And there it is. And then we followed up with a small skittering of Javis 32 Dark Brown. And then to start adding a little bit of colour, we gave it, as recommended by the scrap line, he said it was great stuff to use, we tried a bit of Summer Mixture, that is number 70 of a scatter. And then we followed up with a little bit of brighter green on the top of that, and that was Light Meadow Green. I'm just trying to get it on the light. That was number 10. So they're the 4 scatters that we've used on this side. And as you've seen, these are the results that just simply doing something like that can achieve. And throughout that, we used a bit of a Woodland Scenic cement. There are other versions of the same thing available throughout the market. But this sort of thing, bit of a runny one. But obviously, I sprayed a bit of IPA on there to break the surface tension, so the glue did spread out brilliantly. And I'm looking at these drying right now, and they look a bit brighter than they actually are. They are still quite dark actually, but the colours are breaking through as they're drying. I'm quite pleased with the outcome. Let's have a look back at chat. Beatenhoff Junction, evening. Thanks for dropping in. Promising an hour ago to take a 3 and 7-year-old to the soft play Saturday, so cannot go. Chaz, go. Shooting off. Evening all. Time to run. Take care, Chaz, go. Thanks for dropping by. So we've got one final thing before the end of tonight's show, and that is this week's Modeller's Moment. There we go. So I lost the camera then slowly for a second. Right, so Modeller's Moment. This week we do have a Modeller's Moment. If you would like to feature on this part of the show, on this YouTube Tuesday each week, you can be Modeller's Moment. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. This is purely for you, the viewers who are into your model railways and have a model railway you don't feature anywhere, but you just want to just show it off to the viewers. You can get in touch with me by email, barnabasjunction@gmail.com, with a few photographs, maybe even a couple of short video clips showcasing parts of all of your layout if you wish. You can send them via the email, barnabasjunction@gmail.com, and you could be featuring in future episodes of this moment in the show. It's your showcase moment. It's just for you guys. So today's Modeller's Moment is from a Welsh pronunciation name, and I am going to try. You're going to laugh. I had to do a spell test on this, and I'm just going to do it again. Just bear with me. Cymwai Glow. That's how you pronounce it. Cymwai Glow. That's the Welsh pronunciation of this Modeller's Moment this week. Cymwai Glow. In English display, it's Glow Cum. Glow Cum. That's how it's shown on the channel. Glow Cum Model Railway, but it's pronounced Cymwai Glow. I hope he's proud enough of me pronouncing that as best as possible about the real thing. That is today's Modeller's Moment. Let's take a look. He sent a few photographs of little bits of his end-to-end layout. So he's been doing some great little bits of scenics on this layout, and I say it is an end-to-end layout, nowhere near finished, he has told me, but it's definitely a great little channel that's got some great potential. Let's have a look at what he has said to me. I can't find it just now, but he sent me some information about this. He says it's well in its early stages, but thank you very much for let me just find out who it was that sent it in. Let me just bear with me. Let me go to my emails. We'll find out exactly who it was that sent them in. Right, yes, so Cymwai Glow. It says here are some images of my layout. It's all in 00 scale, and it's a small end-to-end modern scene, but still not completed. Weathering and details still yet to come. That is Cymwai Glow, or Glow Cum Model Railway. Thank you very much for sending in. That was your Modeller's Moment. There is a channel for this model railway, and it will feature in the chat. Hopefully, Digger, yes, he is on the ball tonight. Digger, thank you very much, Digger, top man. Please do check it out. Let's have a look at the channel. It's showing at 93 subscribers. It would be great if we can get him to 100. I bet he'd be so proud. He was in the chat earlier on today, earlier on in the show. Not sure if he's still with us, but he was in the chat. He was actually the first person to comment in the chat 2 hours before the show, and he was here at the beginning of the show. So if you are still here, thank you very much for getting in touch with your photographs of the layout. Lovely little layout, end-to-end modern image. So if you want to feature Modeller's Moment, then get in touch with me, BarnabasJunction@gmail.com, with a selection of photographs and or a couple of short video clips. Excuse me, getting dry. Let's have a drink. So let me get these out of the way. Right. So I think that about wraps things up for this week. Another week has passed of your YouTube Tuesday. Next week will be episode 4. Already 4 weeks into this series. So I hope you can join me again next week. Thank you very much for everybody that's joined me today. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've taken some tips from what I've been doing, the way I do it, very simply, with those few little scatters, and the results that can be achieved with great advice from others. Thank you very much, Tim of Scrapline, for the excellent and just literally so worthy advice. Just little things like that. That's what makes modeling great. So huge thank you to everybody for joining me. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. just had a bank holiday. Another one soon. So until next time, everyone, you take care, very good care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay well, and best of all, keep on modelling. See you next week. Ta-ra from now.